board.
All right. Three, two, one. Back at it yet again here on the Alaska Sports Talk podcast. So glad to have you along wherever you tune in and get your podcasts, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, wherever you're tuned in. Like and subscribe to the best podcast in the state of Alaska. I
Bar
think
none.
could be.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
the
We're not
stars.
biased. We're not biased or anything, but I
No,
believe
not
it's
at all.
true. Yeah,
No, not at all. Everybody says that. I think that's
yeah,
like almost like every YouTube video you ever watch these days too. Like
yeah.
at the end, hey, if you like this video, please like and subscribe.
Yeah, we need to
Like
get. I think we mentioned it in another. Maybe I did in another podcast. We need to come up with a new name besides like and subscribe. What could that? I don't know what that could be, but that would be kind of nice to come
uh,
up with something.
we'll take
Our own little thing.
suggestions.
Take suggestions.
So if you're a listener, give us an idea of what to say other than like and subscribe,
We can start a
right?
trend. We can go. We can. What is it? Go viral. We can go viral
Go
on
viral.
Instagram and Facebook with a new term for like and subscribe.
What's a synonym for like? Trying to I'm trying to think of one right
It's
off the top of my head.
after a day of work and trying to watch the Mariners offense, my brain it just doesn't work right now. Not like
It doesn't
it just is just it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to listen
um
to. Strike three, he's out. Strike
yeah,
three,
yeah.
he's out. And he strikes out looking. Oh, and he strikes out swinging. Awesome.
Are they in the ninth yet? I know that you were watching before
Yeah.
you jumped on.
I,
Is it in the top of the ninth, bottom
it
of the
was
ninth?
it was the bottom of the eighth when I got down here. So I don't know where it's at now. Let's look. Yeah, it's against the Astros, and nobody likes the Astros. Oh, that's in overtime, top of the 10th.
Extra innings, Isaiah.
Extra
Extra,
innings.
not
Oh yeah,
overtime.
I showed.
You're,
Yep, I
I'm just
I
kidding.
showed the
It's
basketball and hockey and hot football.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
extra
some
innings.
the extra time that whatever that
I'll tell
is.
you
Yeah,
what. Here's another thing that gets me in trouble every spring, and it's ironic. It's almost spring, and we talk about it. Soccer, man. I
yeah.
say I say sudden death, and I just get jumped on like crazy. It's not sudden
Oh,
death. It's
yes.
not sudden death. It's golden
Golden
goal.
goal. Yeah,
Like,
right.
no, it will always be sudden death to me. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. But in high school soccer, and the truth
Yeah.
is you have one set of overtime and then you have another thing of overtime and then it goes to golden goal because you play out everything. It's just like, oh. So it's not really truly sudden death until that third overtime type thing. But
Yeah, that's a weird one to me. Like,
it makes the game so long. I know we talked about it last year, but if you didn't hear that, the 7 o'clock game didn't go out till about 9:15 on Thursday night. The last game's
at
supposed to
state.
start at 7 at State. The last game of the day didn't go out till about 9:15. We were running a full 2 hours behind because of overtimes and not having golden goals or sudden death. It was pretty brutal.
But in soccer, the clock just keeps running, though. So in
Well, and
theory, the game should be faster, right?
it should be unless the official decides that we're going to play some more extra time. You don't know what the extra time is until the official just decides to blow their whistle. So it just don't get me started on that.
I don't think there's any other sport I can think of
And,
where an official, like, how much time is going to be added? Could be eight
well,
minutes, could be 2 minutes,
I don't really feel
uh,
like telling you, so
could
I'm
be
not going
six
to.
minutes. Yeah, right.
And that's within their purview to do. No,
Right.
we're not going
That's
to tell you.
yeah, man.
It's
Yeah.
not- And it's only one guy. The other officials don't even know.
Well,
Unless they
yeah,
have their little,
it's the head official.
unless they have their little mic system, which they most of the time they do for state. They have their little mic system, so they're talking to each other. But it's really, I'm not gonna lie, for somebody running an event, it can be really irritating.
Well,
I sympathize with all
I,
those people running World Cups and other things. I mean, man, oh man,
why is it not communicated to the press box, especially at like state championship? Like,
I
you have the time, and you mentioned that the officials have, the communications with one another. How hard is it to get the walkie-talkie up in the press box and say, "Hey, we're adding an extra 5 minutes. Go ahead, put it on the clock." Like,
It's not.
because it's not 5 minutes.
Well, because it
Or
well, because it could be 5 minutes, but if there's somebody taking a little bit too long and they feel like they're taking it too, they could add 30 seconds.
right. It's
I
not
mean, it's
yeah.
not exactly 5 minutes, so you just don't really
Yeah.
know. So it's just kind of
It is
whatever.
interesting because they do let possessions play out. Like if you're like, all
Exactly.
right, you got possession of it, you're making a move here and you're trying to go score. All right, we've already hit our quote unquote stoppage time limit,
They're
but
going to let that play
they're
out.
going to let that play out until you get a shot on goal or something of that. It is weird.
Or
Anyway,
or a possession changes and then they'll blow the
right,
whistle. And
right,
then if there's a corner kick, they're never going to stop it before a corner kick. I mean, that'll
yeah.
it could be running 10 minutes over. It won't matter. They're gonna let the corner kick happen. So yeah, that was kind of a tangent of mine. I'm sure we'll have another tangent of
I
some
don't know.
sort
Yeah.
before some of those spring sports start.
So we started with baseball,
Yeah,
and
got into
then
soccer.
you said, oh, it's an overtime, and I said, no, it's extra innings
Yeah,
because and then some roundabout way we got
we got to.
to soccer. It is a
Yeah,
spring sport. It's happening
it
right
is a
now.
spring sport. It's happening. Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, I think we've had more record snow in the month of April than we had in all of what, December, January, and February
right.
combined.
Yeah.
in
Yes,
and
I was
March.
watching the
I
news.
mean,
Yeah. 4.86 inches. 4.86 inches of snow yesterday, right?
yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't get 4.86 inches of snow. Like, I'm like,
I
it all
I didn't get
melted.
that
Like, how
much.
are you? Like, I don't know how they calculated that, but
I think
I
somebody
don't.
slipped up on the computer or something or the calculator because
I'm like, Jackie
uh,
Purcell is throwing me wonky numbers here. Like, I didn't.
yeah.
I looked outside and I'm like, where's 4.8
I think
inches of
it's
snow? Like,
we have to give them a measure of grace. They didn't have a lot of snow to report on this year, so they're just messing things up because they just got so excited with snow
what?
participation
Yeah,
precipitation. There we go.
yeah.
And hey, it looks like it's 4 inches out there. Well, more like two, but no,
Speaking of breaking records, there were some records broken this past week. Big C relays
there was.
happening over at the Dome, and this year was like probably one of the rare years where you could have done the event outside
Yes.
potentially. I think last
Yeah.
Saturday you could have done the event outside, Friday and Saturday both, and been
It
just
was really
fine.
nice.
But I don't know of another year. I'm definitely the last 2 years you wouldn't have been able to do that, but
No.
uh, this year you totally could have run outside all the events and things like that. But Big C relays on Friday and Saturday last week. It was a huge 2 days. In case you don't know, this probably is the biggest track and field meet of the year, I would say, just in terms of the amount of teams and athletes that come and compete in all these events. I'm trying to figure it out, see how many schools,
It was 30
different schools.
it was I think it was a little over 30 schools that competed this
Was it?
year at the Big C's. Now, I know sometimes state will have more than that, sometimes state won't, but one thing that the Big C's has over the amount of people at state is they just have so many more athletes. They're running a lot more
Right.
heats, a lot more people participating because you don't really have to qualify for it. It's a regular season thing, so teams are putting in their athletes, stuff like that. I mean, they had I think it was just over 1,000 or almost 1,000 athletes, and we don't have that many at the state championship. It is a very, very large event for sure.
No, it is a large event. And what's always surprising to me is like how well timed everything is out and everything is. Talking to coaches that were going to be at the Big C Relay, I'm like, oh, I got to be there at 9 o'clock or whatever in the morning, and but they know that at 9 o'clock their event's going to start. Right? There's
Yep,
no delay. Like I know that it's going to happen now with other track meets and things and how things get timed and sort of it doesn't necessarily like okay, we say your event's going to start at 9, it might be 9:30, right? Or
yep,
or whatever it is. But usually the big C's, they are very on top of like making sure events go off. So kudos to all the organizers of that event.
yeah.
And
Quentin, remember we had Quentin on
yep,
last year to talk Big C relays, and they do
we
a
did.
nice job. Yeah, he does a nice job with that event.
Yeah. He does a fantastic job. And Alaska Sports Report has a fantastic article, by the way, recapping all the events. There were 6 different records that were broken over the course of those 2 days. I know throwing out one of the records, the Chugiak Mustangs 800 meter sprint medley relay team, uh, breaking the Big C record, not a state record or anything like that, but the Big C event record of a minute 53 .36, setting the new record for the 800 meter sprint medley relay. And then Mustangs also having a couple of personal best and school records broken, as well as uh, trying to see. Hold up, hold up. I know Miss Fields broke a record, her personal best record in the 400 at 57.91 seconds, and it's also the school record uh, now as well. So
Did
Elia
I didn't
Fields
re
breaking that record.
I didn't realize this, but when I was looking at stuff, the Chugiak team that won the sprint medley relay
Yeah,
was their A team. Their B
yeah. There's two.
team took third. I
Right,
mean,
right.
I the Chugiak girls are pretty good at running.
They
That's
are.
they're
They
pretty
got a
good.
fantastic
They're
track
pretty
team. They got
good.
a fantastic cross country team as well. Yeah, I mean, mentioned Aaliyah Fields breaking that school record, and then I don't know what the state record or even school record is for the 800 meter sprint medley relay, but I'd be curious. It's got to be something
Let's
close. I don't
let's
know,
see
but
if I should be able to pull
do
up
you have
the
that?
I should be able to pull up the state one here real quick. Um, let's see. Track and field meet records, and we're looking at the 800
Girls 800 meter sprint medley relay.
sprint medley relay.
But the Mustangs,
Okay, Soldotna, the 800 meter the 4 by 800 meter relay, 9 minutes 27 seconds, .39. That's Soldotna in 2015. That is the record right now.
say that again.
So for
Soldano with the record. What time?
the 4 by 800 meter relay,
Uh-huh.
Soldotna has the state record that was set in 2015 of 9 minutes 27 seconds, .39.
Okay. Is that the same event that I'm looking at? Because there's no way that time adds up.
Well,
Because
that was the one. That's the one thing that I'm curious about because I'm not seeing on the state stuff the sprint
maybe it's not a
medley
state event.
relay. I don't think it's a
Yeah,
state event now that I think
maybe
about it
not.
because you're right. Yeah, that time's not doesn't make a lot
I'm
of
gonna say
sense.
a minute 53:36 is that's moving.
That's yeah, yeah. That's really moving. So for let's see, Fields, who ran the 400 and a personal best of 57.91 seconds, and I think she's a
In the four.
sophomore this year. The state record is by that Tanner Elam from ACS, now Mountain City, back in 2015 at 54.87. So she's only just over 3 seconds off that, and she's only a
Yeah.
sophomore. That's pretty good. Or wait,
Well, I
no,
think
she's a
Aaliyah
senior.
Fields.
Fields
Aaliyah
is a
Fields is
senior.
a senior.
She's a
Yeah.
senior.
Yep. So, but she could easily at some point in time potentially break that.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
trying to see a couple of other events and results here from this past weekend's Big C relays. I know there's a few potential UAA signees that participated in the Big C relays as well. Catherine Reinbold, um, Avery Campbell. They tried to eclipse the 4x400 meet record that was set last year by Chugiak, but I don't think they did that in this meet. What was their time? Trying to figure out where is that time. It was the Diamond Girls, I think. Anyway,
Sifting through the results of the Big C's is quite a task.
yeah, it
There
is.
is
Yeah,
so much there.
yeah, but Diamond they took the girls 4x400 relay with a time of 4 minutes and 4 seconds. which is the sixth best high school state time for that event, like
That's
ever.
pretty good.
Kenai has the number one 4x400 relay time set back in 2010, just a little over 4 minutes, 4 minutes 1 second in that event. So interesting. Anyway, so
Yeah,
there's a lot to digest. If you're
Ariel's got
interested,
a good article on that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. A lot of stuff that happens. So if you want a recap of all the things that happened with the Big C relays and all the events, you can even find a link to the final results as well from last weekend's event in the article in the Alaska Sports Report. A lot of cool things happening during the track and field. Just getting underway for track and field um, at the start of it here. So I'd be curious to see when they actually have their first outdoor event. I would assume it's going to be here in
Well,
the next
supposed to be
week or
this. I
two.
think it was supposed to be this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's supposed to warm up this week, and I mean, I keep looking at the tracks around the school, like Chugiak and you know, Eagle River and whatnot, and the tracks are clear. Like the
Tracks are
fields are
clear.
clear, the
Yep.
tracks are clear, so like the snow's not sticking to it or anything like that. So don't
Warms
see
up.
why you couldn't.
It warms
But
up in the during the day where it melt. I mean, we've kind of seen that. It's the last. It seems like
right,
we were going to get one last gasp before it stays away. But who knows?
right.
Maybe we'll get record snowfall in April. Who knows?
I hope not.
I
I
really
hope
hope
not.
not. I
That's
really that.
not something I want to.
Not gonna lie. When I woke up this morning and saw that, I was just like, no,
There's
come
no
on,
way.
no
Yeah,
way.
no
Really?
way.
I mean, I took the cover off the sandbox so I could start drying it out. And sure enough, now there's, according to Jackie, there's 4 inches of snow in the sandbox, and just, ugh,
I still don't get that. I don't like.
I
I
don't
don't
get
know
it
where they
either.
measured. I don't know where the official measurement is. I know it's like somewhere out. I thought the official measurement was out at the airport. Like
That's,
that's what
as
I
far as I
thought.
know, that's where it's
And I'm
at.
like, you're telling me the airport got 4.8 inches of snow like over the course of the last day and a half,
Well, I know
like,
my
and
brothers were
that's
telling,
stuck.
my
But
brother told me, I mean, he works for Alaska Airlines out there. They did get some snow. I don't know if it was 4 inches, but
well,
maybe on the very edge of the bluff at the airport.
where it
That's
didn't
where they,
melt.
where
Like
it didn't melt. That's where they stuck the ruler and took the measurement.
I don't know. Anyway, you know,
Yeah,
whether people are like sports prognosticators too, like
very much so.
in the sense like we can be wrong a lot of the time and still have a job, you know, like what's the
It's very
penalty for
true.
you being wrong? Like, I mean, you're not getting fired if you like, oh, the weather switched, weather changed, uh, you know, like
Mm, well, I
it
think
just
there's
looked
going to be
like a,
7 inches of snow tomorrow.
I just
Well, there
get
isn't.
called a
Well,
liar, you know, whatever. Yeah. So anyway, completely different topic there.
that's another podcast.
Another
We'll
podcast. We
dive
should
into
we
the
should have
dive
we
into the
should have
weather.
Jackie Purcell on the podcast.
That would be
And
great.
like,
Jackie, you need to help
tell
us.
me how. Tell
Where
me.
do they stick the ruler to get the official measurements? Where
I
is
want to
that?
know. I
We
want to
have to.
know.
Inquiring minds want to know. The people that listen to this podcast and watch our clips on YouTube definitely want to know. They need to know. Not
I
even
mean,
want, they need to know.
she has to have. I mean, well, number one, she knows the answer where they're getting the official measurement. I
Yeah.
mean, I would assume
Yeah. I
either
would
that or
think
we're
so.
gonna get breaking news, and she's just like, "Yeah, we make up the number. Don't even like. Oh, we look outside and we just estimate."
I would
Like,
dare say that clip might get more plays than our hockey clip from earlier in the year
oh,
about how it was going
100%.
away.
No doubt. No
Yeah,
doubt.
I think
Oh
so.
my gosh.
I think you're right. Yep.
I think we might have to reach out to Jackie Purcell and just ask, like,
Well,
hey, we
we'll
need to
get
do it.
Jordan on it. We'll get Jordan on
Okay,
it.
yeah, we can
Jordan,
go through Jordan.
Jordan, can you help us out here, man?
We could
We
start with a
really
sports
need to
thing,
have. Yeah.
and then like he's at the office and Jackie walks by, like, hey, can you stop
Hey,
Jackie really quick?
Jackie, get Jackie. Jordan, get Jackie.
Yeah. Anyway,
That'd actually
we
be pretty.
digress.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, a game that's kind of played on snow
Yeah.
slash ice, hockey.
Yeah.
The Anchorage Wolverines, the regular season is winding down. They have their two final regular season games coming up here this Friday and Saturday. And kind of some big ones from the
Yeah. Big
standpoint
ones.
of what is on the line. in terms of home ice advantage in the opening round.
Yep.
Wolverines already know who they're going to play in the opening
Yep.
round. They're going to play the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. It's just a matter of who's going to get the two games at home and have the quote unquote home ice advantage. Is it going to be two games in Anchorage or is it going to be two games up in Fairbanks? That's what's going to be determined here this weekend. Both teams are tied in terms of point total coming into the weekend. So, uh, we'll figure out what's going to happen here. Both games this weekend, by the way, the 11th and the 12th,
Yep.
are at home. So it's the final two home games of the regular season, along with just the final two regular season games as well. So Wolverines have already clinched the spot. Ice Dogs have clinched a spot. Neither the Ice Dogs or the Wolverines could win the Midwest Division, however.
Nope.
Wisconsin already has locked up the Midwest Division. I think, and Wisconsin already knows who they're going to play as well.
Well,
I
actually,
think
Wisconsin, it's still tight. Depends on what happens this weekend. Anchorage
I thought they.
Wolverines play the Chippewa Steel, which is currently in the fourth position. So Wisconsin, the Wendigo would play the Chippewa,
Okay, yeah,
but
that's
the Minnesota, the other team, Minnesota is only 3 points behind, and Springfield's only 4 points behind Chippewa. So depending
Oh,
on
okay.
what
So that okay.
depending on what happens this weekend, Anchorage plays Chippewa. Chippewa really needs to win one of those games to at least get some points out of one of those two games to get that fourth place. Minnesota needs to win both those
Have
games
some help. Yeah.
and have a little help. So it's not 100% locked in,
Okay.
but it looks like if things hold the way it is, Wisconsin would play Chippewa.
Well, and Nick Walters gave a good interview to our good buddy Matt Neville over at the Alaska Sports Report and talking about, this upcoming series and playoffs and things like that. And he made mention that, like, I actually, this is a quote from him, he really does not care about the home ice advantage. He says at some point in time, once you get in the playoffs, you're going to have to win on the road.
Yep.
Whether that's winning on the road now, whether that's winning on the road later, whatever it might be, his theory is like, hey, cool. If we get home ice advantage, awesome, fantastic. If we don't, well, so be it. We're gonna have to win a game on the road at some point to be able to go lift the cup at the end of this thing, if that is the ultimate goal here. So, uh, you know, at least from the head coaching standpoint, maybe he's giving the old head coach cliche, a little bit of media fluff there, whatever. I don't care, like that kind of thing. But I think he's right. I mean, in a 2 out of 3 type series, uh, yes, the home ice is nice. Yeah, totally. And it's definitely an advantage. But, when you get outside of this first round, you're going to have to win at least one game on the road at some
Well, I
point in
believe it's
time.
a best of I believe it's best of five.
Is it 5? I thought it was best out of
I think it's
3.
best of five because right now, if you haven't done it already, the Anchorage Wolverines, I would follow them on Instagram. They're really, really good on Instagram. But scenario one, if the Wolverines finish in second place, they would play the first two games at the Sullivan, and then the next two games would be at the Ice Dogs, and then if needed, that fifth game would be back at the Sullivan. Scenario two, if the Wolverines finish in third, then the first two games would be up at Fairbanks, then the next two at the Sullivan, and then the next one, the fifth game at Fairbanks
You're right.
if needed.
Yep.
So that's
Okay.
what that's
Yep.
what it looks like right now. So I can understand completely what Nick is saying. At some point, if you
You're going to
want
have to
to do
win one on
this,
the
you
road, no
got
matter
to be
what, in the
able
best
to
of 5. Yeah.
you got to be able to win one on the road.
Yeah.
So
You're totally right. I screwed the pooch on
well,
that
and
one.
if I
Yeah. In
if
terms
I'm
of,
not mistaken, I thought well, and I was with you until I had seen that on the Anchorage Wolverines Instagram account. Is I thought it was best of three at first in the first round. I thought that I remembered that
well,
last year, but I think I'm wrong when I think about it a little bit
I
more.
think,
So
well, Major League Baseball does it, I think, in the first round. I don't know.
yeah, but they
Somebody did. I
do.
can't remember. I can't
I
keep
can't.
track of it anymore.
I can't remember.
Like,
I think it's I think it's best of five still for
Yeah.
baseball. It's been so long since the
Well,
Mariners been in the playoffs. It's not something I'm familiar with anymore.
well,
It's-
then it used to also go in a 7 game series. Baseball had this and the NBA had this at one point. You'd play 2 home games, 3 away,
yep.
and then two. So if you had the quote unquote home field or home court advantage, you play the first 2 games at home, the next 3 consecutive on the road, and then if you needed the game 6 and 7, you would be back at home. But now it
Hmm.
goes, 2-2, 1-1-1-1-1. Like,
Yep.
like what the crap is that? Like,
They need more rest time. The
yeah.
NBA players need more rest time.
I'm like,
They
okay,
can't they can't
well,
be doing those back to backs.
yeah. So anyway, bottom line is Wolverines are in the playoffs. Whether or not they're hosting the first round or on the road to start up in Fairbanks, that'll be determined by the end of this weekend. A couple of players to kind of keep the watch on. Brock Devlin, leading scorer so far this season, has 66 total points. I was looking at his stats from last year to this year, and a huge, huge increase in terms of not just goal production, but assists as well. Brock Devlin last year, I think he had about as half of many goals and assists as he does this season, which is just wild to think. He had 54 assists this year, 12 goals this season. Last year, he had 4 goals and I believe 20 assists. So the production from Brock Devlin, fantastic. He'll be definitely a player to keep an eye on. Wolverines also getting some fantastic play in between the pipes as well as the Wolverine netminder. What's his buckets? Michael Manzini playing fantastic. His save percentage up above 90%. So you get to this time of year in hockey, if you got a hot goalie,
Oh yeah.
it's going to carry you.
It's gonna
I mean,
big time.
that can get you through a lot of games, right? And it can win you a lot of games.
Hmm.
It just kind of reminds me of the Florida Panthers and the run they went on in the NHL. Like they had the hottest goalie in the playoffs and ended up winning, the Stanley Cup. And so like it was just wild to think how far that can take you. So it'll be an interesting ride for the Anchorage Wolverines coming up over the next couple of weeks. So we'll be sure to keep an eye on that. We'll try to maybe catch up with Matt Neville or even try to pin down Nick Walters as well and see if we can talk a little bit more hockey and things of that nature and see how things are going into the playoffs for the Anchorage Wolverines. Uh, I think this is the third time they've made the playoffs in the 4 years of existence. Does that
That is
sound
correct.
right?
That sounds right. Because
I
the
was going to
first
say.
year they did, well,
Second year they might have missed it.
trying to remember. I think they may have. See, they've been to the finals twice. Yeah, boy.
So
Now
2001, 2002 was, or 2021, 2022 was the first year they came into existence, right? And they think they made the playoffs in that first year. I think they made the playoffs the second year. And then I think Coach Walters took over, missed the playoffs his first year, made the playoffs last year, and are back in the playoffs this year. So
yeah, you're right. 2023, it doesn't look like they made it.
2023, I'm
Wait,
looking at
I'm looking at Robertson's Cup 2023, and I'm not.
2023, 2024 is what.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them in the list of results. 2022, they were there.
Yeah, no, they didn't make it in 2023 and 2024.
Yeah, that
Confirmed.
season. Yeah, that's it. You're right. They didn't make it 2023, 2024, 24, 25. They've made it obviously into the playoffs, but
Right.
don't know what's going to happen with that yet, but
Yeah, we'll see. To be determined. So,
to be determined.
I'm trying to think anything from the realm of UAA sports going on right now. I know that their track and field team is also in full swing as well. Uh, Joshua Caleb breaking records I mean, this dude, if you haven't looked up some of the times that he is posting, he's breaking school records left and right. He's only a sophomore.
Wow.
So, I mean, this guy, fantastic, uh, fantastic sprinter. Uh, so he's been a huge, huge piece for the track and field team over at UAA. So go to seawolves.com. You can check out all the times, the impressive performances that the UAA track and field team has put together. Also, UAA gymnastics wrapping up their final meets as well. I think they have a couple of ladies competing in some national events to wrap up the gymnastics season. I'm trying to keep my ear and eyes on the transfer portal, at least for basketball, for men's and women's basketball, and see if there's anybody
Uh,
hitting the portal as of yet. I have not heard of any reports of anybody hitting the transfer portal for UAA men's and women's basketball, but that's not to say that it hasn't happened. But if and when we do come across some of those potential portal transfers, we'll let you know. Uh, I know that UAA picked up UAA women's basketball team picked up a former Colony Knight basketball player. I think coming back home for her senior season.
yep. Can't remember her name now.
Oh my goodness! Hold on. Uh, I gotta.
I know I saw that.
Right. Yeah. Hold on. Do, 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 do. Come on. Dead airspace. It's just fantastic.
Radio Gold.
Yeah. Radio gold. Yeah. Uh, India Clark. My
There
goodness.
we
Why
go.
couldn't I think of? Yeah. So played her first 3 years at Wofford, which is a Division One school, by the way. So India Clark making the transfer, coming back home to UAA to play her final season. So a huge piece added for uh, Ryan McCarthy. And maybe this is a role that India Clark could fill um, after the departure of, oh my goodness, why can't I think? I'm having all sorts of, uh,
It's, it's the snow. It's the snow.
it's
That's what we're
it's
just.
something.
It's the snow. I'm just gonna
It's
go with that.
something. It's a Amelia Long. My
Amelia
goodness,
Long. There
holy,
you go.
yeah, I couldn't. My goodness gracious, I just hate when dude, I was walking down the hall the other day and I was on a mission, and about halfway down the hall, I forgot what I needed to do. Like, I don't know what is going on. Like, I'm angry at myself. Like, just like you blank out and like, what was I wanting? Then I go back and sit down, and then I remember, and it's just like, oh
Something else jumps in
man,
your head when you're.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. Yeah. I get
But
it.
anyway, India Clark signing with UAA potentially could kind of fill in as that piece for Amelia Long after she graduated this year. Remember, Amelia Long setting all sorts of school records in terms of defensive performance this year. She was Defensive Player of the Year in the GNET Conference, Newcomer of the Year as well. Long setting the school record for steals in a season. Also, I think maybe setting a school record in terms of, oh, what was the other one? I think it might have been assist turnover ratio as well. So, fantastic year by Amelia Long. So they're going to have a huge hole to kind of fill with her departure, along with how do they fill the spot of Tori Hollingshead as well. So those two seniors missing, but Ryan McCarthy and his coaching staff getting a transfer to come in to add to, not a rebuilding. I don't think it's ever been like a rebuild with Ryan McCarthy. It's always just been like a continuation, like,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's a
going
continuation.
marching
It's
on.
reload.
Reload.
Reloading.
There,
Yep.
reloading. Uh, Obviously, spring sports are in full swing in terms of high school sports, baseball, softball getting underway. First baseball and softball games, just throwing this out there, I believe are supposed to start the first weekend of May. Is that
I think there's
correct?
supposed to be some that are. I know there are some that are happening in the southeast already, but I think the ones around Anchorage Valley area were supposed to be this weekend.
Okay.
I
Wow.
think it's this weekend, but now with snow on the ground, I don't know what the some of those ball fields. I don't know what Mulcahy looks like right now.
I don't know either. You know what Mulcahy looks like? My honest opinion, we need a new ballpark. That's what Mulcahy looks
Well,
like.
yeah, that's definitely yes, I would agree with
Okay.
that
Yeah. All right.
for
See?
sure. Let me. I'm double checking something. Yeah, there's supposed to be games starting to there's some games tomorrow, but that's at West Valley and at Kodiak.
Usually here in the Anchorage area, the first games that are hosted, they aren't necessarily at Mulcahy, but they're at Bartlett sometimes, just because
Yeah,
Bartlett's got that whole turf.
it looks like South is supposed to be hosting some games on Friday,
Okay. All
but
right.
they've got a ball field out there at their site
Yeah.
too. So it looks like they're supposed to the first ones in Anchorage are look like this weekend, starting on Friday over at South. But I mean, all that's
Crazy.
obviously weather dependent.
Right. I mean, I think from the forecast I saw, and again, we got to have Jackie Purcell on here.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jackie can fill us in.
next 2 days is supposed to be potential snowfall, rain snow mix on Friday, Saturday. So we'll see what happens. Uh, weather's
Yep.
always changing. So just like
That's
the sports scene here in Alaska, always changing. So,
we got to be nimble.
make mention of the ASAA board meeting. That meeting is taking place at the end of the month. So
Yeah,
we'll have a lot of
it's
stuff on that coming up towards the end of April.
the end of April. The April when we taped that last podcast in April. The board meeting is May 3, 4, or 4, 5, and 6 of May. It's because the calendar rolled over. It's usually a week later. Usually it's that last full weekend of April. But with the calendar rolls and there were some meetings that some of the board members had to go to, so it's 4, 5, 6 of May. So that's in Cordova.
It's at Cordova. Wow. All
Yeah,
right.
we always try and have the spring board meeting rotating around the state since the other ones are always in Anchorage. So yeah, it's going to be in Cordova.
All right. Well, that's a little bit of a road trip. I
Just a
mean,
tad. Yeah,
just
just a
that.
tad.
Or you can fly in, I guess. But
I
whatever.
I think we're flying.
Well, I hope so.
I don't think anybody's driving, but I could be wrong. I mean, driving and taking the ferry.
Okay. Very nice. I'll make mention of this is more natural sporting news, but the Masters golf tournament starts
Oh,
this weekend. So I
Masters.
know I'm a big golf guy, like golf. Uh, I'll throw my prediction out there, and if I'm wrong, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe you can pie me in the face. I don't know,
Well, you know
but
something. The truth is, I won't even. I probably
you won't
won't
remember.
remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
It's- my mom loves the Masters.
oh,
I
really? Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
she loves watching golf. I do not. I mean, if I want to take a nap, I'll turn it on.
Yeah, yeah. My prediction, by the way, uh, a guy from Ireland named Shane Lowry winning the
Oh,
Masters. So
Ireland.
The
Nice.
Irishman gets it done, in my opinion. And now I
Mark
probably
it.
just jinxed him, and he probably won't even make the cut. So
Mark it.
uh,
We've got it. You heard it here
book it,
first.
book it,
The Irish
book it.
guy's winning the Masters.
I'm trying to think if like anybody from Alaska has ever played on the PGA Tour. I think there's been one guy.
Really?
I think one guy. Uh,
That
Name like
that would
Danny
be
Edwards sticks out in my mind for some reason. He
that's
didn't
super
play.
impressive.
He didn't play at Augusta. I don't think. I don't think he played at the Masters, but uh,
I feel
I
like
don't
that
know.
would be something we would all know if
Yeah,
a guy from Alaska ended
Alaska
up
played at
on
the Masters.
the
Yeah,
play at the Masters. I feel like that would be something we would know.
yeah, yeah. You're probably right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Danny Edwards. I just looked it up. Danny Edwards. He's from Ketchikan, Alaska.
Ketchikan, really?
Yeah,
Wow. Way to go, Danny.
yeah. Well, now he's on the. He's older now, so he's not on the PGA tour. He's on the Champions Tour, which is like
Ah,
the senior tour. But yeah, birthplace Ketchikan, Alaska. He turned
wow.
pro back in 1973. How about that? That's
Keaton,
impressive.
I am very impressed with that knowledge right there. That
Well, that was
is,
Google. That knowledge came from Google. Like
well, no,
after
that you were,
I knew that.
well, you said that name. You
Yeah,
were
well, I
like,
knew that. I thought I knew the name, and I'm like, I
yeah,
think I know the name, but I
that's
don't know
impressive. That's,
if he competed
yeah,
at
I
the.
had no idea we had a professional golfer that came
But
from
like his
Alaska.
age and his like that stuff came from Google after I looked up. Like, hey, wait a minute.
Sure, you're not
Yeah,
supposed to say that.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I did. So
Well, yeah,
I'll admit it.
I just
I'll be
remember these
honest here.
things.
Yeah, yeah. Says the guy that forgets things as he's walking down the hall.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good point. I didn't forgot to mention. Hey, but
yeah,
the excuse is what I hear a lot. Men can remember stats, but they can't remember what they had for breakfast. Which
right.
I'm not gonna
That's
argue. Which kind
there's
of
a lot of truth in
yeah,
that.
there's some truth to that, and that's very
Uh,
true in some
Very true.
aspects. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so on that note, I think we should sign this podcast off and call it a show and wrap things up. So again, like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's through Spotify, Apple Podcast, even like and subscribe on our YouTube page as well. And you can
Yeah.
follow all the funny little video clips that we post out there on our YouTube channel as well. If you missed any episodes, you can go to the website, alaskasportstalk.com, and also get caught up on any previous episodes that you might have missed. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it.
Yeah, it's April's a little bit of that bridge month, and
It
there's
is.
not
It
as
is.
not as many.
That's
There's
why
important stuff going on, but there's not as much
we're gonna have Jackie
as
Purcell on the show. That's
yeah.
where we're at.
We got to figure it out. We got to lean on our guy Jordan.
Yep.
Jordan, you gotta hook us up, man. Need Jackie
I think it could
Purcell.
happen. We could do it.
Yeah.
Make it happen. All right, that's going to do it for Isaiah Freeman, Keaton Homer signing it off. We'll catch you next week here on the Alaska Sports Talk Podcast.